Hey guys, Wild Willie here. Just giving you a little update on some prepping changes. Just moved from an apartment, excuse me, to a house, and that gave me some new challenges and new freedoms I never had before. So, for example, I can run solar now in the backyard. I get sun from 12 hours a day for the most part, right over my head. So the solar panels can get set up outside. I can put a generator in the backyard now if I want and keep it out there in an enclosed area. It's great. But really what I wanted to talk to you about was my placements of stuff. I have a big basement now, which I never had before. I came from a one-room apartment. So now, of course, all my food, my water, my medical, my sleeping, my heating for the most part, is all stored in the basement. And the reason why I keep most of that in the basement, one, because there's a lot of room, and two, that if the shit does hit the fan, like if there's a tornado or an environmental emergency, that's chances are where most people are going to run, to the basement. It's one of the safest places. You're away from windows. You got good solid foundation walls. Most of that stuff is kept down there. The fuels for anything I have, like kerosene or propane or any of that stuff, is kept outside, obviously. But what I don't keep in there is communications. And someone I was talking to the other day about prepping was going on about communications and what they have, and we were talking about where they kept it. Well, I took my communications downstairs to the basement just to see how a lot of the radios and stuff would work. About half as good as they worked on the main floor, and not even a quarter as good as they worked upstairs. So what I did is I took one of the bedrooms, spare bedrooms, and I turned that into my communications room. I have several forms of communication. I figure if the shit hits the fan and communications down, one of the things that the average person or most people are going to be picking up is GMS or GMRS and FRS radios, the ones you can get from almost anywhere. Most people have them, and you'll notice next time there's a power outage for any length of time, if you have one, turn it on, you'll see a lot more chatter on there. But I also got UHF and VHF two-way radios, scanners. The very minimum you should have is one of those crank up or solar power emergency alert weather radios. That's an absolute minimum. But I want to know what's going on not only in my town and my city, but in my region if something major does happen. As far as powering now, how I power everything up, that changed a lot too. I come from one little tiny one-bedroom apartment. Now that I got multiple levels in the house, my power needs have changed too. So one of the things I've been doing with the solar, not only running the battery packs to have there, but on every floor, not only do I keep flashlights in every room, but on every floor I keep one of these. They're power packs. I'm sure you've seen them around. They've got a 12 volt on the side, three 120s. This one's an 800 watt one. I keep them on every floor now. All my lamps that aren't hardwired into the ceiling, that are just unplug and I can turn on and off free will, they've all got 1 or 2 watt lights in them, light bulbs, LED ones. So for the simple reason that this thing will run a 1 watt or a 2 watt or a 3 watt LED light bulb for days and days and days before it needs to be recharged. Also for my communications, whether I'm running a CB, a ham radio, a two-way radio, they're all going to need to be charged or plugged in or have a power source. These things are excellent for that. When they do go low, I plug them into the solar panels and I can get a full charge depending on how much wattage I'm using on the panels. I can get a full charge in as little as 5 hours and as maximum as 10 hours. It all depends on the weather conditions and everything else. So these are great. They're very indispensable. It doesn't take a lot to charge them, and you don't even need a big panel, too big of a panel to charge them. So that's one of the changes I made. Of course, I got the storage now for a lot more food, a lot more water, and whatnot. Medical, I expanded on that a lot. Multivitamins, I expanded on them a lot. Of course, your honey, your baking soda, and all that other fun stuff. The only thing I haven't settled on now is I got to redo is hygiene and toiletry. Yeah, I'm in the basement, so I need to set up something down there, a secondary toilet. I'm not talking about building a hard one in, but just like a camp toilet or something like that, just in case the water does go or we have no source of fresh water. It's not like you want to be using all your water reserves to flush the toilet every time you go to the bathroom. So just one of the things to think about. But that's what I'm doing now. I got a lot of projects on the go, and as I get going on them, and I'm going to keep you guys updated and show you what changes I've made and what things I'm doing to make life a little more easier in case the shit does hit the fan. I want to be as self-reliant and as self-efficient as I can for me and my family. So that's what I've been doing.